So I've finally got away from having multiple drives like this plugged by multiple cables into the back of my computer, and it's made my workflow so much better. What I'm going to do is show you how I've done it in this video. Morning everybody, fantastic to see you all again. It's not a Sunday and I've got a video out, which is something that I haven't done for 2 years. I've always published my video on a Sunday, and as I mentioned in last Sunday's video, what I wanted to do is try and get a midweek video out. And these videos are going to be about the photographer's toolkit. So it's all going to be about the things that I use from a gear perspective that make my life easier. I've got a number of tools that I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to start with something that probably seems really boring, and that is a NAS drive. And everyone's going to go, okay, turn off that, I don't want to watch that, why would I? But stick with me, because actually your photos are the most important thing you've got as a photographer. That data is so important. You've spent all that money to go to a location and shoot amazing images. You don't want to lose it. And I realized that after years and years of just plugging hard drives that I just explained into the back of my computer with loads of different USB cables, and then just not knowing which hard drive, because half of them look the same, like this one and this one, had what on, I'd spend more time trying to find the right hard drive with the images than actually editing my images. But worse than that, there's a chance that these hard drives would go down and my backup system just wasn't very robust. And then to top it all off, just as this NAS drive arrived, this drive, which is my drive that I use on location, failed. And I was lucky to be able to get the images back off it, but it failed, and I've got to throw this out now. And that's the first hard drive that's ever failed on me, but hard drives do fail. So it's important to have a system that allows you to back your photos up, but also improves your workflow and makes it more efficient to be able to get to these photos from various locations. So we'll go through that in a little bit more detail. Okay, so let's get rid of those and bring in this, which is really heavy. So this is a NAS drive, and for those of you who don't know what a NAS drive is, then basically it's a set of drives that you can access on your network, and usually they're set up in what's called RAID. You can go and have a look at that on YouTube. I'm not going to go into it in a big detail, but what you need to know is how I set it up. So I've got 5 drives here. You can see the drives I've got, and they happen to be Seagate 14 terabyte drives. And these 14 terabyte drives go in this NAS drive here, really easily like that. And I've got 5 here, but it only gives me 3 of them effectively as storage. So the other 2 are just redundant drives, and the data's written to all of them, but if there's a problem with a drive, then I can rebuild the system or just swap that drive out. So I've got some sort of redundancy there. I've got some sort of backup that allows me to have a problem with a drive and not lose my data. But more importantly with this is that it's connected to my network, so it means that I can access this information from my laptop or my main desktop computer, or even on my phone if I want to. Now, what I was worried about when I was going to this and going away from just having something plugged directly into my computer was how quick it was going to be. I thought it might slow things down, and certainly it might slow Lightroom down. But that just hasn't been the case. I've been using Lightroom with this on my computer connected directly via a wire to my network over a 1 gigabit per second connection, and also over Wi-Fi, and Lightroom runs really quickly. Now the key thing around that is that I have all my photos on here, but I don't have my Lightroom catalog on here. So my Lightroom catalog is stored on this drive here, and I also back this up as well to this, but this is an SSD drive, so it's a really fast drive. It's connected to my computer, and what I do is that when I want to go and edit my Lightroom catalog when I go away, or if I want to go and edit my catalog in another room, then I can take it with me and do that. And it means that when I'm in my house, I've still got access to those photos as well. So the edits I do can be done on the photos from wherever I am in the house, and that makes a really big difference. And by having the Lightroom catalog separate from the photos on the NAS drive means that it's still super quick. So although this is really robust, I still want to back this data up as well. So what I've got is I've got a drive for every year of movies and photos, and this year's 2019 is continuously backed up every night to that 2019's drive, and all the other drives are then kept off-site as well, and then I copy that 2019 drive every so often and give that to a trusted friend to keep just in case my house burns down. And then the other thing to think about, which isn't really an option for me, is online backup. Now I've got a really slow internet connection. When I upload my YouTube videos, I've got to go and hold my phone up in my garden and get the fastest connection I can to get the video up, otherwise it takes about 5 hours. So I can't do online backups. So what I do is I just back up just the most important Lightroom photos to the Creative Cloud. And to do that, it's really simple. You just create a catalogue, you put your photos in there, and then you just sync that to Creative Cloud. I've probably got around about 1,000 photos from my catalogue of hundreds of thousands of photos backed up to Creative Cloud. And that's purely because I don't have a fast internet connection. If you're like me and you don't have a fast internet connection, or you don't want to upload all your photos to Creative Cloud because it'll cost you a fortune in storage, then just choosing your best ones, maybe your 3, 4 or 5 star photos in your catalogue, to back up to Creative Cloud is a good idea. So that way you've got a little bit of online backup of your best photos, you've got this for redundancy of maybe a hard drive failure, and then you've also got these drives here that you've had from the past, or the new ones for the next years that you're backing up every night and then maybe giving them to a friend from time to time. Okay, to sum up, so this has given me peace of mind. I've now got a much more robust solution, and if something does go wrong, then maybe one of the hard drive fails, then it's going to be quick to then rebuild that and get going again, which is really important for me as a professional, but should be important for anybody, because the data of your photos is the thing that matters the most. And this also gives me is flexibility. It means that I can actually get to my photos whether I'm sat in my office or maybe just in the lounge, sat down on my laptop and I want to do some editing, and all I have to do is just take this SSD hard drive with me, and that's just got my Lightroom catalogue. So I think it's a really good way of setting up Lightroom. It's a really good way of backing up your photos. I hope you've enjoyed this first video in the Photographer's Toolkit, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Bye.